All right, so the next one we're going to look at here is going to be our cork gasket. Now, as we look, it says we have a design intent. The 3 holes need to be on a 5.5-inch bolt circle. Okay. Now you'll notice here that if you look, that 5.5 is like a dotted line. We're going to use construction geometry here. Okay. Construction geometry. So I'll show you how to use that. And then we have the bolt circles. These bolts are going to be 120 degrees apart, evenly spaced. The boundary arcs they have there are tangent to each other. And then note equals 3 on the on the arcs. Okay. So these are all equals. Okay. So you don't have to put those in as separate. I'll show you how to do that. And I think that's it. I think that's it. 2-place decimal. So we have to start our file with 2-place decimal as well. So let's open up Creo. I've got to open up Creo on my end. So I'm going to open it up. If you don't have yours open, go ahead and do that. And we'll kind of go through that fun process at the beginning, kind of getting Creo ready to do what we needed to do. Now, this is probably just me. I have to X out of that, and I'm going to X out of this. And now I've kind of got my blank screen here. First things first, I never want to forget. I always want to select my working directory. So I'll select that. I'm going to go to my documents, WCTC Creo, and this is it. Yep. Okay. And then I just like to select it again to make sure I'm in there. So yep, that looks good. Then I'm gonna notice that there's 2-place decimals here. So I'm gonna go up to my file, down to my options, and I'm gonna go to my sketcher. And I happen to have it. I think the last one I did was 2-place, but this might be something else, but you want to put it in 2-place decimals here. That's where we do that setup. And then you're just gonna hit OK. All right. So now we're ready to start new. All right. Any questions so far? Yeah, this is fun process like no other. Now we're going to do new. We're going to create a part, solid, and then make sure that you use default template. And then our file name is going to be the cork_gasket. And I'm going to call mine 1 because I think I have one out there. Okay. Now I'm at that point where I need to decide what to do. Now, remember, we could go in on Sketch, right? But unfortunately, if we do that Sketch, it's going to save as an SEC file and we can't pull that up. So we have to do something. And that something is we always want to go in on the extrude. So we're going to say we're going to want to extrude this part. But first we have to create a sketch because we're always going to extrude a sketch. And that's why we practice sketching here. Okay. You'll be happy for it. So we're going to define that sketch. And then over on the left-hand side here, I'm going to pick my sketching plane. My sketching plane is for all of these, we're going to use the front plane. There might be reasons why we use a different plane at certain times, but we're going to use a front plane here. So I'm going to click on my front plane and then I'm just going to hit sketch. And now it's going to put that front plane parallel to my screen. If it didn't do that step for you, then you didn't have it checked in the options. All you have to do is hit this button in the middle. It's called Sketch View, and it'll orient that very same way. By clicking that little check mark in the options under Sketcher, it just saves having to do that. That's all. That's all. Okay, so now we have our, origin in the middle here, and we can start looking at things. So I'm going to go back to our, to our assignment. Oh, I have it underneath here. Sorry. To our assignment. And we're going to, obviously, this is going to be the center of everything for us. So I'm going to start by putting that middle circle in, and then I'm going to put this 5.5-inch bolt circle in. So go back to Creo. I'm going to create just a regular circle right now. Regular circle at the center. Just create my radius, middle mouse button to put that dimension in place. And now I am ready to double click on that to change its dimension. And I want this to be 3 inches. 3, enter. Okay. Now, as we see that 5.5-inch bolt circle, okay, it's like a dotted line. And as I said, we're going to use construction geometry here. Okay. So there is something that's called the construction mode. Okay. So we're gonna go and we're gonna put a construction circle in. So we're gonna hit the construction mode. Now we're gonna hit the circle. We're gonna go back to that very same center and we're gonna put, you see the difference in the circle? We're gonna put this circle then larger on the outside, just like we normally would, and then middle mouse button. And now it stays this dotted line, okay? And it's putting it in as a radius. So I'm gonna double click on that radius. And if I want 5.5, I don't know why it's doing the radius randomly. That means it's gonna be a 2.75 radius, right? Now, I am going to put it in as a dimension, so simply go back over it, left click on it, and you should get that dialog box that you can toggle back to the diameter. So I do want a diameter of 5.5. And then notice that these dimensions are over the top of each other, so I'm just going to take that 5.5 and kind of put it up over here for right now. Okay, so everybody get that? So we want this in construction mode, okay? Not a regular line. This is a bold circle line, so it's like an imaginary one there, okay? All right, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start on the top here and I'm gonna put in place the inside circle and the outside circle. The inside circle is a diameter of 1 and the outside circle is a radius of 1, so a diameter of 2, okay? And it's going to be, so both of those circles are gonna be centered on that 5.5 inch bolt circle, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna put those right up here. So I'm gonna put I'm gonna turn off my construction mode, because if you start drawing right now with the construction mode on, you're gonna get those dotted lines again. And then you just, okay, whatever, just delete it, go backwards and then undo it. Not a big deal. So I'm gonna toggle it off by just clicking back on it. And now I'm gonna do my circle and I have the ability now to, I'm gonna zoom in here, to snap to that center where I established that bolt circle on that vertical part. So I'm just going to go like this and then middle mouse button. And I'm going to put this to 1 inch. Okay. 1 inch. Shift. I'm going to hold and I'm going to pan down here a little bit. Or remember, you can always use this refit to put your, get your things back oriented. Okay. Now I'm going to do the other circle. Same center line. Go larger. Middle mouse button. Shift, bring that down here. And this diameter is going to be 2 because it's a radius of 1. So I'm going to move this to the other side-ish. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back underneath. I'm going to look. You'll notice that I have 120 degrees between here and 120 degrees between there. Okay. So I'm going to draw 2 construction lines out to that point. What do I want to do with construction lines? Let me think. Do I want to do construction line? No, I'm going to do center lines. They did center lines. I'm going to do center lines. I don't need to do a construction line. So I'm going to go back to Creo and up on the top here, move this around. Right up here, there is a center line. We're going to use the center line and put it at an angle through. So I'm going to click on my center line. I'm going to move this box back up here. And I'm going to start my center line in the middle on that. And then I'm going to, you see how it's still on my thing here? I'm just going to kind of, place it and I'm going to click there. Okay. That's going to be 1. Then I'm going to do another one and I'm still in that center line mode. So I can re-click back to the center and I'm going to put the other one like here. And that's it. Okay. And then I'm going to hit my middle mouse button. And now I'm going to add my dimensions to this. So I'm going to dimension from my vertical line to this one over here. And then I'm going to middle mouse button in between over here to get a 120 degree difference. And then I'm going to do the very same thing on the other side. I'm still in my dimension mode. It's grayed in. So I'm going to go from that vertical line down to this one, middle mouse button in the middle, 120. Okay. So now those are at their distance. Okay. And now I'm gonna do that very same thing that I did before, and I'm gonna take these. I'm gonna draw these 2 at each one of those locations. So, oh shoots, I did it. I did my middle mouse button and I rotated just like we used to in AutoCAD. Okay, so I'm going to go circle, go down to where this is. Gonna click, and now remember I'm gonna do my equal. so that it is going to be that very same thing. And then I'm going to go back in, middle mouse button, and I'm going to do equal to the larger one. Okay, same thing over here. Click, stop at the equal, click again, stop at the larger equal. Okay, and then those three are in place, and they're at the 120 evenly spaced between each one. Questions right now? Okay. All right. Now let's go look back at our illustration. So we've got each one of these in here, right? Now you'll notice that we have to get like this part in here, right? And it looks like that's a 4.5 inch diameter. Okay, so I can put that circle in there. It's going to have the same center as this, and it's a 4.5 inch diameter right around there. So let's put that one in. Regular circle line, center. And I'm going to go, now, as I do this, do you see how it wants to like grab different things? You'll find out if you watch any of those videos, I want to have, if you would, most often an independent feature. So it is going to want to try to grab to those things and be smart about it and help you along, but try to avoid those. So if you get close to one, like, oh, go past it. And I'm just going to go right about there. Okay. And I'm in a middle mouse button. And now I'm going to double click it, and it's going to be 4.5. Okay. There it is. All right. So now I have everything in place that I need to. And if I go back one more time, the only thing I need to do is I need to add in these radiuses. Okay. And those radiuses are, I know what they are, but where's the dimension for it? They're I think it's just up here, isn't it? 2.75. Do we see it down here anywhere? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yep. It's right there. Yep. 2.75. And that's the same radius for all of them. Okay. We're going to put that in at, well, you tell me, what do you think we're going to put that in as? Easier. There's a function that we can use to put that in. Which one? Not arc. Nope. Starts with an F. A fillet. Yes. Yes. It's a fillet. Okay. So let's see how it's going to go in. So go back to Creo. I'm going to grab my fillet here. Okay. And I'm going to go to the inside here and this one, right? And it's going to put that fillet in between for me. Now, it's not the right size, and you have to hit the escape key or hit your middle mouse button to end this command, because we can't have the fillet activated. And now we're going to, you see how there's a radius here? That's a radius of 1.75. We need to double click on that and make it a radius of 2.75. There we go. It's in there. Isn't this good? All right. Now I'm going to go on the other side of this. So shift middle mouse button. I'm going to add it in right here. Okay. So I'm going to do that very same thing. I'm going to do fillet. I'm going to click on here, and it's going to add it in. I wish it would remember the one that I put in there. I don't know. I mean, it could be that smart, but it's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the escape key to exit the fillet. We're going to pull this radius out. Now, instead of changing that radius individually, we want to make these all equal so that we can always just change one of them, and then they're all going to update at the same time. This is called design intent, thinking ahead. Like as we look at this, it's a part that we want to do that. And I think it even says it in the instructions. So we are going to go up to above the constraints here, right? I'm going to click on equal. And then I'm going to click on the one that I set up as 2.75, and then the one that has the weak dimension on it. Okay. And now they're equal to each other. Notice the equal constraint symbol, and it's equal to this one right here. And the dimension's only where we put it in originally. Okay. Now I'm going to do some trimming here before I go on to the next one. And I notice there is a chat here. Okay. Filleting rounds is new. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure I've done it in. Oh, there's a fillet command in there. There is.
There's a fillet command. It doesn't work between like two rounded surfaces unless I've never.
Fillet. There's a sketch fillet, and then there's like a feature fillet at the feature level. So depending on where you use it, but they have them in there.
Interesting.
Take a look. Yeah, it is. So did we find something we like better in Creo? Maybe.
I definitely like how this works.
Yeah.
How that fillet works, because making tangent like rounds between
Yes.
two rounded objects is very frustrating to do with.
Well, yeah, and it's time consuming.
Yeah.
In AutoCAD, you would, yes, yes, yeah. So now we can do the, and I'm gonna pull this down over here. Right here, we're going to grab onto, I think it's a delete segment, okay? And that's like our trim. So we use that by left clicking and getting rid of the parts. And don't forget this little one here that we want to get rid of. Same thing over here. It's still highlighted. So we can go over. Oops, and then there's this little one right here. There we go. All right, it's starting to look good. Let's do it again on the other side so we get a good feel for it, okay? So shift, middle mouse button, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna do that very same thing on either side. So we're gonna do the fillet command. We're gonna click here and here. And then we're gonna escape to deactivate it, go to equal, and click that first one, and then go to the second one. And now that's equal. All right, go back to the fillet command, go from this one to this one, escape, and then equal for my constraint. And I want to go 2.75 and then hit my new one. And now it's the same. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to kind of scooch in here a little bit, and I'm going to delete segment right here. And just kind of, pay attention. Remember, you can always do the undo if you go a little far, because that happens to me once. Oops, there's one here yet. Right there. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then we'll do it one more time. Let's do the top one and make it official. And then I think that'll be it. This one's not too bad. This one's kind of fun. Fill it here. Here. Escape, equal, back to the 2.75 and click this one. Okay. Fill it again, this side, escape to deactivate that command, equal from here to here. There we go. And then we just do our final trim. Oop, 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 oop. See, I have to do the undo. I went a little too far. Trim again. Here, and then there's that little part right there. These two can go, these two can go, these two, and that one. I like it. That looks good. So then now, by middle mouse button, everything should be all set for me in terms of I don't have any overlaps. Otherwise, this wouldn't turn the nice pink color to kind of show that solid area. Okay. I'm going to go up to my feature requirements. I've got 2 green check marks. That's a good sign as well that I'd be ready to do my extrude. So I'm going to close this. But before I do my screen snip of the sketch here, I want to just kind of maneuver my things around. My big thing is I just got to be able to see everything. Okay. So kind of pull these into different directions. Make sure that you have your select highlighted and no other commands. Might want to pull in the 120, make sure it's not overlapping on a center line. My 2-inch dimension here. Now, oh, that's a diameter. Let's convert that over to a radius by left clicking on it. So that's the radius of 1. Make sure all your diameters and radiuses are called out appropriately. Here's the 3-inch. Maybe put it on this side. So again, I just want to be sure that I can see everything. And I think I've got it pretty good. Now I can take my screen snip and then do with it what you want, whether it's saving it as a file or putting it into a document, okay, as a little, screen snip. So, so to do that, that would be Windows Shift S, go around, and then you can put it in, or if you want to use the snipping tool, if you're here on the computer, and then you have to, you have to save it. You can always upload that file as well. Now, remember that we can't just do a save here because it's still only a sketch. Remember that Schoolhouse Rock? They're only a bill. Oh, you know, I'm only a bill. I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill, right? Yeah, just reminded me of that. This is only a sketch, okay? It's not a part yet. Okay, Lex, thank you. You're the only one who recognized they remembered that. Okay. I don't know if Schoolhouse Rock's still a thing. Yeah, yeah. Good. So anyway, so now what we want to do is we've got our screen snip, and that's all that you have to hand in, but we need to save it as a part file in case we need to bring it up if for some reason something's not quite there and I mark something off and you want to make an adjustment, you don't want to start over again. Okay. So we need to get this into a part. So we're going to hit OK here. It's going to remember that I always say went in on the extrude to do my sketch. So I want to change my depth here to 0.25, enter. And then now I can say, yep, that looks good. And then at this level is where I'm going to do my save. So I'm going to do my file, save. It's going to remember the name. You just want to check that it's in your working directory. And now you'll notice it is a part file. Yes.
All the holes in mine, I think, and it's like, what? How do you?
I don't know. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to check. If we have features that are equal relation, we have a 1-inch diameter off the hole instead. Oh, that's okay. That's fine. Yeah. Yep. And then let me just save here, Lex, and I'll be right back. Josh.
How do you get like trying to get a circle to snap to other circle? It doesn't like snap the points like it did.
Okay. All right. On this file, is it on this one or on a different one? Okay, so hold on. Let me just finish this one up. And then now I can close this file. So we're going to go through that closing business. So I saved it for one last time. Remember, it's going to save those extra copies. So before I close this file out, I want to manage the file and hit delete old versions. Okay. If I close out of my file before I do that, they're going to be left in there. And it's not the end of the world, but just remember that your latest number. So if you saved it 4 times and you have a number 4 in back of it, that's your latest version. It's not the 1. Okay. The 4 is the latest one. You will want to get rid of 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Out of your file manager, but this takes care of it for us. And then it gives me this little confirmation. Then I can close it. Okay. And then it looks like I'm ready to start, but I'm not, because I have to go back and I have to do file, manage session, and erase not displayed because there's stuff in the background there. Okay. And now, okay. Now you only really have to do this if you plan on not closing your session of Creo. Okay. If you plan on closing your session of Creo and not going back in, it's not a big deal if you don't get rid of what's not displayed. It's just that that stuff is in the background and it could start slowing things down for you performance wise. Okay. So it's good to have kind of a clean slate, if you would. Okay. So then that is our Cork gasket. I'm going to do a file.